Once upon a mundane morning, Barb's day got busy without warning. A realtor in need of an open house sign. No, 50 of them, and designed before 9.
My head hurts.
Any mighty tools to help with this plight?
Aha!
Barb made her move. She opened Canva and got in the groove.
Bulk creating Canva sheets. Create 50 signs fit for suburban streets.
Done in a click, all complete.
Sweet!
Now, imagine what your dreams can become when you put imagination to work at canva.com.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the third behind-the-scenes episode celebrating 10 years of Wrong Station, a decade of dread. I'm your co-host, Jacob Duarte Spiel, and I have with me the two other co-creators of Wrong Station, Alexander Saxton and Anthony Batella, whose voice you may recognize from every episode of this show ever.
Even the ones you think are not me.
You're still in the opening.
He just has that much range.
Yeah. And in the outro, too. 10 seasons. 10
I
seasons. 10 seasons is a crazy amount of work. In total, we talked a bit about this in our retrospective, but we're talking more than 155 episodes. That's just the numbered main feed full-length episodes. We're if you count everything, we're over 200. If you count Patreon content, we're over probably 250 at this point. And for season 10, we wanted to celebrate all that work, and we decided that the best way to do that would be by doing a shitload more work. Specifically, fuck yeah, let's do this. It's the only way I'd ever want to celebrate Wrong Station, truly. And that work is going to be by writing, performing, editing, and releasing 31 all new episodes in October 2025, along with the rest of our full season afterward. And longtime listeners, you might remember that we did something similar at the start of season 8. But what you might not know is that a lot of that extra material, that 31 episode pledge drive, a lot of that extra material was actually leftover scraps from the first 7 seasons of the show that we revised and polished and edited. And unlike that season, we didn't have that large glut of unused material. So this upcoming 31 episode season 10 extravaganza, I think that's the word that I can use to describe this, is completely original and written in the past year with I think 2 exceptions. So first question to the two of you, why are we doing this to ourselves? Anthony, why are you doing this?
Because we can. Because we're sick like
Flex
that.
on him.
Because we have the power.
Flex on him. Fucking flex on him. I don't know if I'm talking about our audience. I don't know if I'm talking about our competitors who are not real people, but somehow they exist in my mind space. I don't know if are we talking about ourselves? Are we flexing on ourselves here?
My one rival out there.
The man in the mirror.
The man in the mirror. No, I mean, it rocked the first time. It was awesome. It was super cool. I hated doing it. It was like pulling teeth to get me to do it.
But to having done it,
though.
The
having
sweetest
done
juice.
the thing. Holy schmoly. Yeah. So get ready for that. Not just stuff, but stuff that isn't even slop. It's not even slop, folks. Aren't you excited?
It's good.
Yeah.
It's
you had
wall-to-wall bangers, actually.
It truly is. And Alexander, why are you doing this? Why did you? Because I came to both of you and I was like, we should do this, and then you somehow both agreed with me, despite how hard the season 8 was.
Well, I was really excited to. It felt big, it felt ambitious, it felt scary, but I just felt entirely confident that we could do it. I was really excited to do it. There was a certain rush that I felt from the 31 and 31 that we did a couple years ago. And I like how when I talk to people who are who produce things about doing 31 episodes in 31 days, I like how their eyes sort of widen and as they know how much work that is, and as they see what that means. And I like that. And I wanted to go further. And I liked the idea of doing it all completely from scratch, 31 and 31. You joked a moment ago about flexing on them. Yeah, I kind of want to flex, I know we can do it, and I know we can make it good, and I'm excited to do that. I'm excited to feel a bit of that adrenaline. And I've talked to you guys about how I'm sort of all in on Wrong Station. Like I want Wrong Station to be my bread and butter. And this is the way to get to Wrong Station being a thing that I can retire on lies through doing things like 31 and 31. I'm just excited to do it.
Yeah, I'm moving to a new apartment in October, and I have aspirations beyond eating just beans and sardines.
Yeah. I think Jacob, ultimately the answer though is, I had to do it to him.
I had to do it to him, man.
I had to do it to him.
I mean, yeah, like
They must have amnesia. They forgot I'm him.
yeah, this is in many ways this is a whole month long version of Dracula Flow.
Straight spitting 31 and 31 days.
So the answer is pure ego.
Yeah, pure ego, a little bit of id. You gotta admit there's a little id in there. For me, I think it is about, it's all that. It's also just about celebrating the show that we actually love making, and then also giving, there's two sides to the show. It's us and it's the audience. And this is a chance for us to celebrate it for ourselves, but also a chance to celebrate it for the audience, to give them something to look forward to this October.
I want to throw some red meat to the hounds. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
we were
listen,
talking about this.
I want my people to eat.
We talked about this last time. Like, again, like one hand washes the other. Like, we do this because you make it possible, and because you make it possible, we do it again. And
yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Everyone eats at this
accelerating.
cookout, baby. Everyone eats at this cookout.
And then you all come back next year and you're so hungry. And what can we do? We're going to let you starve? We're going to feed you again.
We have to give you more perfectly grilled meat.
There's bone. Are you? Hey, come here. Oh, you're hungry over there? No, come on. Jacob and I, we're Portuguese. It's in our blood to feed people.
Yeah. And it is, listen, it is a pledge drive. It is a way to encourage you to donate to keep the show on the air. But genuinely, at least for me, this is also the only way that I would want to celebrate a Wrong Station anniversary of this magnitude, is just more Wrong Station. It just feels like that's how you do it for Wrong Station. Anything else would be a crime. Like literally, I think if we did a different thing, it would have to be a crime.
Celebrating 10 seasons by Robin Banks.
I was thinking more like crimes that don't have names yet. Like, I don't know,
crimes
like
of the future.
up. Yeah, blending up like a bunch of birds or something. I don't know, and then like you give it to like someone who shouldn't drink birds. I don't know. I'm not. This is
the guy I work with who's afraid of birds.
Yeah, there's a guy you work with.
We can't be feeding him bird juice.
No, there's I just mean out. Like the show is weird, and one of the nice things about weirdness is that you can always make more of it, and I feel like that's what we're here to do today and forever with Wrong Station, and especially in this upcoming October.
I'm doing this because if you don't milk a dairy cow, its udders explode.
Yeah,
I'm doing this because my udders are full.
Alexander's the cow. Alexander's the cow and the farmer in this.
Anthony's
metaphor.
giving us the keep going sign on the camera.
I saw it. He's saying.
Wait, no, that's the wrap it up sign. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay, keep it going, Jacob.
Wrong Station is and I'm sure you can tell this from the last 5 minutes of conversation. Wrong Station is truly a show built on long-term friendships. Alexander, Anthony, and I have been friends for 15 years. Alexander and I have known each other since we were 10 years old. And when we write for Wrong Station, we're often writing to surprise, scare, or disgust each other. And nowhere is that more true than in doing these 31 episodes, when we're constantly launching between 1,500 and 3,000 words at each other from our respective laptops and sending things into a group Slack being like, go check this shit out. I'm curious for both of you, is there a season 10 episode that you were most excited for the other two to read?
Black Lotus, because it's wretched, it's vile. Also the Gray Drake, because it's kind of my baby. I think it's just like a really great pulpy fantasy story. And also Heat Rat, because it cooks. Because that's a story that goes fast.
Heat Rat slaps. I'm very excited for everyone to hear Heat Rat. And I'm also curious, Anthony, just because you get to have this you get to bring this up. Is there a performance that you're like excited for us to hear?
I haven't read Heat Rat yet, but I know what Heat
It's
Rat's
slaps.
vibe is, and I am excited to read Heat Rat. I know that Alexander wrote it in a delirious haze the day after playing Heat Pedal to the Metal, the board game, the F1 board game, or sorry, the legally distinct F1 board game. Again, I haven't read it, but there's a story called Dynamis.
Oh, Dynamis.
And I just know that's going to be from the title, from the all caps title. You just know that's going to be Dynamis.
You're gonna love Dynamis, man. What have you've already started recording? You've recorded what, like
A few
5,
things.
6 episodes? Yeah.
Yeah,
And how do you feel like those are coming along? Is there anything that you're like,
I'll say Doulahan. Doulahan's coming early. That
Doulahan's
one's gonna be. That's a good one. I just it's a nice, like, I just read it and I was like, this rips. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Literally.
you'll laugh too later when you hear it? So there's a big difference between producing 18 episodes to air across 6 months, which is usually around our what our schedule is, and producing 31 episodes to air in a single month. You know, as Alexander mentioned, you know, you tell people that you're doing this and their eyes get really wide and they grab you by the shoulders and they shake you and they say, you don't have to do this. And yeah, you know, it's fun to have people think that you're insane a little bit. But it also changes the way that we work on this project. And I'm curious, did you find that writing, performing in such a tight time frame, or with the knowledge that this was all going to be released in a really tight time frame, did that result in better work, worse work? Was it just more work? Did anything about this process surprise you? This is sort of the second time we've done it, but it's different this time because it's all new. And truly, how did you make this possible for yourself?
I found it really easy to work with that deadline and with that little bit of pressure. I've found that it's just been really possible to get the machine running. You know, I'm really proud of this stretch that I had. I had sort of like 5 weeks where every single writing day that I had, I produced a new first draft. I produced like, yeah, a new draft every day, 3 days a week for 5-6 weeks straight.
So
on this.
fucking intimidating to see them get slotted into the season 10 Google Drive folder and just be like, what's fucking
Boom.
happening? What's
Boom,
going on?
boom. It's like, what? Oh no, I can't read all these. Oh fuck.
And yeah, it's just sort of for me that like that adrenaline, that time pressure, has just really made it so I don't know. I've just really found a rhythm where I've been able to sort of sit down and I know what like this sort of 1,600 word thing that will eventually expand to 2,000 in the third draft. I know like exactly just the shape of that 1,600 words, and it's just sort of been able to come through really instinctively for me the last little while. Yeah, I found this has been a really fun and energizing process. And
What
way of
about you,
working.
Anthony? How is it coming from your perspective right now?
I haven't written that much, so it's hard to say, but just reading things and offering notes. I think there's a huge hurdle between that 2,000 words, anything below, and sort of pushing up to that 2,500, 3K word full episode area. And, you know, when you get to that point, you get a little bit more concerned about structure, like, oh my God, what am I doing? This is going to need a little bit more heavy lifting for a second draft. Just these tight, smaller stories, they just really, I find that I am able to, when I actually sit down to write, and Alexander is able to, and you are able to, just really like put them in the chamber and just bang, it comes out fully formed. And
What about
and
from
there's
a
a
performance perspective too?
performance perspective, that's I wouldn't say there's too much different. What I was gonna say, I was gonna add on with writing that there's also just like this beautiful madness that comes from this free madness, this deliria that comes from writing something so short and producing things so quickly and just not being so concerned and just getting it down on the page, which Jacob, you also talked about a little bit in a recent Grimoire Club of ours. That you felt more at ease just throwing things out. My mind strangely drifts to something I just created. I'm not going to say wrote. I'm going to say created for the lore book, for the summer lore book. And oh boy, it came out quick and it came out dirty.
the summer lore book, which you can access. We do one every season. And by season, I mean like summer, fall, winter, spring. And we do one for every season, and you can access them on the Patreon. But yes, I did mention that I have just been like things have been coming out a lot smoother. Alexander, what you described, similar situation. I'll let everyone in on a little secret. I wrote everything that I wrote for this, and there are still a few things coming, but everything that I wrote for season 10 so far, I wrote 15 minutes a day. That was like my rule, was like I will sit down and write for 15 minutes every day and just do a first draft of something. It doesn't count the editing, it doesn't count like that stuff. It's just 15 minutes of first draft every single day. And there have been days when it's harder, there have been days when it's easier, but I've basically been doing it since like April, and I've completed like I'm very close to finishing, I think 10 or 11 different things for this.
I think that deliberate process has really worked for you, because all of these first drafts that you've been putting in the folder are just like cut, print, polish it up. It's good. Like they're all structurally sound. They all hang together.
I think it's by forcing myself to do it in this very particular way, the instincts get to take over, and that's really where things start to make sense to me, at least, because like then I'm just like, well, what happens next? It's like, well, what do I feel like happens next? And also doing 15 minutes a day gives me the option of jumping from one project to another without feeling too bad about it, because it's like, well, tomorrow I'll just do the 15 minutes on that other one, which and you learn a lot about how to write by writing a bunch of different things all at once, because you
Interesting.
it's like you have multiple like tracks that the brain train can run on, and all you need to do is just change tracks to get a different effect that you're looking for. I don't know when we're going to mention this, but I do think it's worth mentioning. This is 31 episodes in 31 days, but we have written far more than that. What are we? I think at last count, we're at like 40. I think we'll probably, and we're going to get some of our good friends. Mary Gillis is going to write something for us. We have a few other people who are writing some additional things for us, but I think we're probably going to finish, by the time we hit October, we'll probably have 45, maybe 50 things in the folder.
Well, that's good, because we have a season to produce.
Yeah, we have a
after
season
that.
afterward. I remember jokingly being like, well, we did 31 episodes in 31 days in season 8. Should we do 62 episodes in 31 days?
Oh,
You shut the fuck. You shut the fuck up.
What's insane is it was a joke, but we might actually get close to doing it.
No,
Mm.
no, we won't.
Mm.
I mean, it's
Season 11.
season 11. One up ourselves every time. Yeah, we're square rooting. We're doing 31 times 31 episodes. So lots of episodes. And I bring up the fact that we've written, whatever it is, like 39 or 40 things so far, because Wrong Station it's a container. It holds a lot of different kinds of stories. We talked a little bit about the benefits of writing an anthology before. We aren't fully entrenched in any particular genre, whether that's dark fantasy, whether that's gross horror, whether that's like the creepypasta style that we sometimes dip into. But that means that we can do all of them. So when we plan 31 episodes in 31 days, we need to be really careful developing the order of the stories, developing the order of that 31 episodes. Usually we have 2 weeks between episodes, which means that listeners who are caught up have time to let the previous episode settle before diving into the next, which means that you can kind of have episodes with similar themes, or maybe even not that similar, but like slightly similar themes side by side without worrying that people are going to, feel like they're getting the same thing twice. But with 31 and 31, the order really matters. Do we put 2 sci-fi horror things next to each other? Do we cut an episode because it shares too much in common with another? And I'm wondering, were there any stories that you walked away from because you thought that they were too similar to something else in the folder? Are these stories that you had to abandon because we had so much we had to write, and you just were just like, I can't finish this one in time? And attached to that, is there anything that we might see later in the season or in coming seasons?
I never abandon anything because I can't afford to. So few to begin with. I will say, we noticed there was a lot of people getting by different things
Yeah,
in this upcoming month.
a lot of people get devoured.
So we rearranged some things there. Although I have a few more things I'd like to write, and thankfully they all slot in. Although, sometimes the opposite, sometimes this problem becomes something that gets you excited. Like, I realized, oh, you know what? We don't have something. We haven't done like a creepy pasta-ish thing for a long time. Let me take a crack at that. Let me like really focus in on getting something like that. And that's one of the things I wrote that I'm really excited about. I'm not gonna say the name. I don't want to say the name of that one though. It'll be early
Yeah.
on though.
It's like building a puzzle. As you build the puzzle, the pieces that aren't there become like clearer and clearer. You get like the outline of the thing that isn't present in the season. And it's fun to sort of be like, well, I'll fill in that piece. I'll come up with like a thing that fits that slot.
I get to feel
Mhm.
good because Alexander puts together like 80% of the puzzle. And then I get to be like that. Ooh, I've found the last piece. Look at me.
And then I'm like, oh fuck, why did Anthony solve that? Like, oh, I'm such an idiot. I wrote all this shit and I didn't have the right piece.
Ordinarily, I feel this way. This is definitely the most I've ever written for something like this. So I feel like I'm actually filling in. Like I think I've got like 30% of the puzzle this time. Like I think I'm like I'm looking around and I'm like I did okay.
You did
I
a
think
big chunk of the sky, and that's like that's hard work right there.
that's the hard stuff, right? 'Cause it's all the same color usually,
the
unless
hard
there's hot
stuff.
air balloons in it, which is a useful thing.
Yeah, I haven't cut anything. We've had lots of things that were about people being devoured by animals, and I feel like some of those things you can massage them in second drafts to shift emphasis around so they don't feel too samey. My approach for this season has just been I'm shooting a fire hose at it. I don't give a shit if something is similar to something else because I'm just going to write so many things for it that we're going to be able to like leave 15 things on the cutting room floor and use them later as like Patreon things or use them
As-
later in anthology
as
episode.
slop.
As slop.
It's
We're
not
making so much
slop.
future slop.
It's not
It's not-
slop.
It's not slop though. It's just I'm just making restaurant sized batches in the big
Sorry,
pot.
do you guys think
And-
that
and-
slop is a bad thing?
It's
Yeah,
taken on a
slop's
negative connotation lately.
I love slop.
Yeah. 2 seasons ago, we were talking about slop for the hogs, but now slop has an AI connotation. So slop has been there's been a
Oh,
vibe shift
crazy.
for
It's
slop.
crazy
Yeah.
that slop for the hogs is a better connotation, like than
Yeah.
AI slop. But it is. It
Yeah.
is. It's so much better.
Well, because the slop that you feed hogs is ultimately nourishing. It makes the
Good point.
hogs big.
Yeah, high protein, high fat.
Yeah.
The hogs love it.
But- Yeah. But yeah, this season I haven't been doing any of that. I haven't been second guessing myself. I've just been sitting down, and if I get a first draft on paper by the end of the day, I'm like, fuck yeah, good, cut print. I'm gonna go like wander around and drink beer and play video games and not feel bad. I've just been
Hell yeah.
letting it flow, and whatever comes out comes out. And if it's not right, then I'm just gonna sit down the next day and write something else, and maybe that'll be right. And I've just been relying on it being a numbers game.
I've made us all agree that we're finally going to do, if we haven't already, we're going to launch the Discord this fall. And then you can all see how much Alexander plays Age of Empires 2
Oh my
Or-
God.
or Mountain Blade Warrior, or whatever that one's called.
Mountain Blade Warband.
Mountain Blade
Yeah.
Warband.
With the Florist mod, of course.
Because
Flores mod,
Alexander-
obviously.
because Alexander cannot figure out how to make that not appear on Discord that he is playing.
Is
Age
it
of
still
Empires.
appearing on Discord?
I'm not on Discord. I'm really not on Discord that often, so
I need you to log into Discord to tell me if I've successfully disconnected it.
we'll run an experiment.
Sure.
So, with that in mind, not that it's useful to this question, but with that in mind, no spoilers. Doesn't have to be your own episode. What is the episode you're most excited for the audience to hear?
I mean, my earnest answer is a story called The Hunting of the Grey Drake, which is a dark fantasy story, which I think is sick or is going to be sick when it's all polished up. And then my little purple devil emoji answer is Black Lotus, which is gross.
It's rancid.
It's rancid. It's a nasty little story.
I'm not gonna say the title again, but just that sort of creepypasta-ish one I described. It's short. Well, it's not sweet, but I was really I got that out in one day, and I'm really pleased with how that one came out. It's a little scary. It's folks, this might surprise you. It's a little bit scary.
I described the plot of it to Rachel, my partner, and she made this face. Some
For
visual
those
humor for all you
listening,
podcast listeners.
for those out there in podcast land, it was an unhappy face.
It was kind of a. She opened her eyes really wide though. She was like it was yeah it was
I don't
it was
like
it was
that.
good. It was a good face. I felt like it was a correct response to the kind of story it was.
Jacob, how about you?
Oh, I'm excited. I wrote a story called Tongue, which
Tongue.
I think people I think it's the kind of
Available in Panavision.
it's kind of gross. It's a little bit gross, but in a way that I think is going to make a lot of people very happy. I think it is the kind of horror story that is enjoyable to listen to. It's quite
It
short.
feels good.
It
It's a
feels
feel-good
good.
piece.
This is
And-
gonna. It's got a moment that's really like when Henry Fonda in 12 Angry Men takes the knife and slams into the table. It's got like one of those moments where everyone in the audience is gonna be like, "Yeah!"
That's my hope. That's my hope. Yeah, I want a stand up and cheer, loud theater audience moment. And then other than that, I'm also excited for the story that you mentioned, Anthony, without naming it. And then for Alexander, I keep coming back to Heat Rat. I love Heat Rat. I think
Nice.
it's so distinct from everything else in the 31 episodes. It's not fully like it's not completely untrod territory for us in the sense that like stylistically, but it's been a long ass time since we've had a story like that, and there aren't many of them. And I think people are just going to really really get into it. I think it just some things sometimes you just got to whip ass, and you got to do that at least once in 31 episodes, and that story whips ass.
Jacob, I'm also very excited about the two idiot brothers.
Oh, Impounded.
Oh,
Yeah, I
love
that-
love those brothers.
Well, won't get
that might
into
be
too much, but
yeah,
but
that's like the
these two
most fun
guys-
I've had. It's the most fun I've had writing in a while was Impounded. I think it comes through in the story. It's just a fun story. So, this is, like I said before, this is a bit of a pledge drive. It's not a bit of one, it is one. We caught you. We tricked you. You're getting 31 episodes because, yes, it's a celebration, but we also would like you to support the show. It would be very nice if you did. And I'm going to tell you, there's more special stuff to celebrate this anniversary. If you follow us on social media, you've probably already seen this stuff. If you listen to the original announcement episode, you've heard about this stuff. But, for example, we got Toronto's own Trevor Henderson, the creator of Siren Head, one of the biggest horror artists in the world. He is going to be creating 3 pieces of Wrong Station art based on some of his favorite classic episodes. You might remember we interviewed him a couple of years ago, and it was just like a great time. He's a great guy, and he was like, "Yeah, like I'll make some art for you guys." And so we're gonna have some special art, and that art is going to be available to people on our Patreon. We've made a special Patreon tier, the Decade of Dread anniversary tier. You can donate $10 per month in honor of 10 years of Wrong Station. You can also pay for the full membership for the year at once. And again, like these donations, they keep Wrong Station free and on the air. Truly, we can't make the show without them. We certainly couldn't do 31 episodes in 31 days. Like Anthony said in the previous episode, one hand washes the other. We are able to do this because of people donating money to the show, which allows us to spend more time making the show. Who's to say that we can't do 31 episodes in 31 days every season with the right kind of support? Anthony is shaking his head vigorously. No, he's not actually doing that. He seems actually pretty excited by it.
He's shaking his head no because he wants to do 62 and 31.
Yeah, he wants to do 62 and 31. We'll do 31 on the main feed, 31 for Patreon. But more than just keeping Wrong Station alive, again, donations, they're not just donations. They do give you access to the Patreon, which is filled with exclusive content that we've talked about. In the interest of shamelessly plugging the Patreon, patreon.com/The Wrong Station. Anthony, Alexander, what are your favorite things about the Wrong Station Patreon?
I really am proud of the lore book. The lore book is a lot of work, and it's always, we're always scrambling to get it out. We're always a little bit late with it. But I'm always so proud of the work we do for it. I love getting the chance to do some really cool graphic design stuff for it. I'm always so proud of the cover for it every month. I think the lore book is it's really cool. I wish we had I wish we had like more time to make it bigger and more extravagant.
Yeah, and
Because
just so you know, the lore book is what is it, like 20 to 30 pages usually, and
Mhm.
again we release it, once a season, fall, winter, spring, summer, and it's just either we expand on stuff from previous episodes, we introduce completely new concepts to Wrong Station. I wrote something that was like, sometimes it's just funny. Like I wrote the transcript of a interview between Joe Rogan and the guy from Classic Car. Like that's in one of them. But like sometimes it's like spooky stuff. Like Alexander wrote like a collection of, it was like descriptions of various like cities that have disappeared or something
Mm,
like that. Is that what, like dark fantasy kind of cities, and each of them had like
yeah.
their own sort of horror thing going on. And it's awesome, and it's kind of Alexander's baby, both in terms of getting it out there and also doing a lot of the visual accoutrement that like come along with it. Anthony, what's your favorite thing about the Wrong Station Patreon?
Yeah, I think again we've really threaded the needle on making something that's fun for us, and I guess this is specifically with Control Tower, something that's fun for us, and we get to talk about what we enjoy doing, but also get to interact with the audience, and like there's a lot of really thoughtful questions. I think we've got a great audience, and great folks who've joined us over there. They're always asking great questions. Or not even having questions, just saying, like, I think the story was about this. It's like, Jesus Christ, you fucking hit it right on the head, didn't you? Got it in one.
Or, and I mean, truly, like one of the wonderful things about the Patreon is that people will come in with interpretations, of an episode's ending or something that happened in an episode. They'll ask us a question because the Control Tower is a show in which we basically give you a behind the scenes look at every single episode of the show as it's coming out, hopefully, ideally. That's how it works. Is sometimes we get a little bit late on that too because life gets in the way, but we haven't missed an episode for the past few seasons. And people will come in and they'll give you an interpretation that you never would have thought of, even if it's your own episode. And I have had multiple situations in which those questions, those interpretations have informed another thing that I write. Like they're like a great
Mhm.
springboard into writing something else, thinking about something else. It's not just like about interaction with our audience. It's getting inspired by the things that your audience sees in your work. It's very, very cool.
I also love Grimoire Club. I think I so appreciate that people support the show, and that they make what we do possible. But I'm also proud of what we do, and I think proud of what we do on Patreon, and I think folks are getting pretty good value.
I would agree. Again, it's weird to be doing this. Like we don't usually do this. We don't usually get together and talk about how great our Patreon is to try and convince people to join up. But season 10, you got to make an exception to some rules. And truly, we are trying to secure the next 10 years of this show. Like we don't want to stop making it, and the encouragement that we get from seeing people signing up, even if it's for the free tier, having people comment on episodes, having people share the show with their friends, their family, that's the stuff that keeps us going. That's the stuff that keeps us creating this show. It is. I did not expect when we started making this. I did not expect when I joined up on this team that it was going to be such a circular relationship with the audience, but it really has ended up being a very circular relationship. And initially I was kind of resistant to that. But going into season 10, I'm realizing just like how beneficial it actually is, and how much better my writing and producing and the work that I've done has become because of that circular relationship.
Yeah. So, as we say all the time, thank you for listening.
And thank you for enjoying all three of these little mini docs. We had a great time making them. You'll see if you see any
Getting progressively more loopy with each one we recorded.
Yes, of course. And if you see the visual, if you see some clips of it, you'll see that we're all wearing the same clothes for all three episodes.
Yep.
We recorded them all back to back, and it was so much fun. And yeah, we're just like, we'll see you when the season starts. It's gonna whip ass.
Which is probably soon, based on when this coming out. Probably like in a week.
Hyped.
Get hype. Get hype.
Get hyped.
Go find your friend and grab them by the shoulders and shake them.
Go find
your
a
best
stranger in the street and grab them by the shoulders and shake them and tell them about it. And then take their baby and shout at the baby that the new season of Wrong Station is coming.
Anthony, is there anything that you'd like our audience to do to the strangers or strangers' babies?
Grab them, shake them. Heat rat. Dynamis.
Dynamis.
Tell them. Tell them.
Oh,
Tell him about Dynamis.
I love you guys. I love this show.
Right back at you, buddy.
Yeah. We'll see you soon.
And to all of you out there. Yeah, we'll see you soon.
We'll see you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.